Yes, everybody, Russ and the West Ham Network. Hope you're all safe and well. Happy Friday. Happy Friday evening's going well. Oh, I need this weekend. God, does Bud need this weekend? Been a long week, and next week's gonna be emotional as well because it's Flo's last week of primary school. So it's gonna be an emotional week in the Bud House. I cried when we won our first trophy in 43 years. What am I gonna be like when my daughter leaves primary school to go to finish to go to secondary school in September? Anyway, it seems since the Declan Rice thing is hopefully coming to some sort of conclusion this weekend, that we have a plethora of activity in terms of journalists and articles being sort of sent out into the national press and on social media and stuff like that. So much so that we did Hammer's headlines a little bit earlier today, looking at sort of the midfield alternatives and sort of the battle for that midfield spot and things like, I don't know, Edison Alves and JWP and Zakaria and all these other players. But there seems to have been even more in the last sort of couple of hours. So I thought we'd do a bonus show, you lucky devils, just to keep you up to date with the latest rumours before we go in the pub on Friday, basically Friday night. And then tomorrow we'll be doing a preview, hopefully, of the Perth Glory West Ham friendly in the morning, and then probably do a little watch along. Probably do a little cheeky watch along as well. We'll keep an eye on that. So let's go through the rumours. Let's go for the rumours. We're going to start with the Brazilian teenage sensation, Ryan Victor. I think that's how you pronounce it. Knowing me, I've absolutely butchered the bugger. But anyway, in terms of pronouncing the name. But I mean, this is a guy we spoke about recently. He's 16. He's considered to be one of the top prospects in Brazil. And he's risen to prominence in the last year, having won the under 17 Sudamericano with the South Americans. He became the club's youngest ever goal scorer in the 21st century for Vasco da Gama when he making history as he scored in his first team debut when they lost 2-1 to Internacional in the Brazilian Serie A. And according to the Italian news outlet Tutto Mercato Web, Vasco da Gama, as it was mentioned today, would be willing to actually listen to offers of around $25 million, which is about 19 million quid, plus a percentage of future sales. The report claims that the club basically want the money now, but then loan him back to Brazil, so to speak, to Vasco da Gama for next season, and then you can have him back next August. So basically, buy now and receive later, and receive a year later. So for me, this type of deal, this deal would not have David Moyes' fingerprints on it at all, because in theory, he's gone next summer unless things change. But this guy's a guy of the future. We spoke about him, I think, last week because we were doing retro rumors, the ones that got away type thing. And we spoke about Neymar and Santos, and he was a similar age and it's a similar price actually. And we didn't pay, we offered a few million less, didn't get him. He goes to Barcelona and becomes one of the world's best players. And obviously we missed out on Julio Alves from River Plate. He went to Man City. Moyes turned him down apparently by his own admission on Stephen Bartlett's Diary of a CEO podcast. But the Mirror journalist James Nursey claimed early this month that Barcelona and Real Madrid are also looking at him, making a potential deal for West Ham hard. Although Real Madrid haven't got a lot of money at the moment because they've just spent £100 million on Jude Bellingham. Barcelona are up shit creek about paddle because all their money's going to the redevelopment of the new camp. Same as Real Madrid, it's all going to the redevelopment of the Bernabeu as well. But the fact is, this guy apparently possesses similar style and similar playing style, strengths and weaknesses to Lucas Paqueta. And the fact is, we do have a Brazilian, international in our midst. So, and we do have a partnership with the likes of Vasco da Gama, Santos, Flamengo as well. So it'd be interesting to see. But as I said, if this ever came to fruition, this is a Tim Steindon deal. This is not a David Moyes one at all, because it's one for the future, not for the now. And at the moment, Moyes has just got on a 1-year contract, hasn't he? So let's talk about Pierre Scholes. Apparently, we have now expressed an interest in the Torino defender, according to the Evening Standard. It noted that the Dutch defender is also attracting interest from fellow Premier League club Crystal Palace, but Torino's valuation of £34.2 million is putting off many potential suitors for the 23-year-old centre-back. No official bids have been made. I mean, he's got a bright future ahead of him. He joined from Ajax to Torino for £8 million last year. So that's a hell of a jump from 8 million to 34 million. He made 33 appearances for the Italian side last season. Obviously, played in the side with Vlasic as well. He was also called up to the Netherlands squad for their National League, UEFA Nations League matches with Poland and Italy. And he's got a contract with Torino which doesn't expire till 2026 with an option of another year. But we know that Torino are looking to move players around a bit to try and get money to invest in the side. So we shall see. Liverpool were obviously sniffing around for him, but apparently haven't expressed an official interest, whatever that means. But Palace and West Ham have. So we shall see. Obviously, we've got maybe a trump card in terms of we know Torino want Vlasic. We know Vlasic wants to play for Torino. So that could be involved in some sort of cash plus Vlasic deal. I don't know. Just putting 2 and 2 together and coming up with 5. Another guy we've been linked with is staying in Serie A at sea and Spezia. And West Ham have shown we've joined apparently other Italian clubs and also Brighton Hove Albion in the chase for Spezia Calcio's Emil Holm, according to Scamacca Web. 23-year-old has drawn interest from several Serie A sides like Napoli, Inter Milan, Atalanta, and Juventus. He's now attracting obviously interest from Premier League sides, including us and the Seagulls. He's a right back, and I think Spezia were relegated from Serie A last season and are apparently waiting to receive offers for the Swedish international. Tuesday Mercato Web added that Spezia need about 15 million euros to spend. Basically, that's what they need for this sale to sanction it in the window. And, that fee could easily be reached by us or Brighton, in all honesty. It's what's about 13 million quid. He can play right back. He can play right wing back as well. In 23 games for Spezia last season, managed 1 goal and 2 assists. Hasn't featured for the side since February, as 2 injuries have forced him on the sidelines for most of the second half of the season. Perfect. Welcome to West Ham. Welcome to West Ham. Sticking with Serie A, just quickly, just another tidbit I've just sort of noticed recently. Obviously, we know that Scamacca was in Roma, and some people might say he was flirting his knickers at Roma and stuff like that, or just declaring his love for him. But apparently, it says that Roma have apparently switched gears. And Jose Mourinho now is supposedly not interested in Gianluca Scamacca, but now he's looking at Alvaro Morata. And apparently they are now discussing a potential move for Morata. So there we go. Obviously, he bagged 13 goals for Atletico Madrid last season. And according to the reports in Spain, Roma and Morata's agents are set to meet next week to discuss a move to Roma. So maybe that's a good news for the pursuit of Scamacca, in terms of we don't want it. We don't want the pursuit. And lastly, now this one I don't like, but we got to report it. And we spoke, I think, a week or so ago, 10 days ago, how Fornals was on a list of potential replacements for Paul Pogba at Juventus. Now, possibly a more realistic out for the fornicator, potentially. Real Betis have shown a formal interest, apparently, in Pablo Fornals, with their manager, Manuel Pellegrini, the guy who brought him from Villarreal to West Ham, keen on signing the player. According to Estadio Deportivo, who say that the Betis boss has been encouraged, that the club has encouraged the club to move for the West Ham man. Explains that while waiting for a major exit to happen to balance the books and allow them to make more transfer moves, i.e. Luis Felipe to West Ham potentially, Betis are apparently working behind the scenes to set things up. They've got several named several targets and apparently have shown a formal interest in Pablo to Betis. His name was an option and has been confirmed by the sources of Stadio Deportivo, who say that the Betis sporting director Ramon Planes is working on a deal for him. I wouldn't be surprised if there was something to do with the Luis Felipe deal. This one has a little bit, personally, there's a bit more substance to this one than the Juventus one, which is very sort of left field. We obviously know he's Spanish international. He would probably like to get back into the Spain squad as well. The Euros coming in. He hasn't had a lot of game time for Spain recently, so maybe playing back in La Liga might be useful for him. We know Manuel Pellegrini likes him because he bought him from Villarreal to West Ham for a lot of money. One of the few sort of signings that Pellegrini bought in which worked. Himself and Fabianski, the other two, obviously Haller and the other one, Felipe Anderson, didn't work as much, did they? Let's be honest. So yeah, it's a shame, but I can see this one happening. I really can. But obviously, we'd need to get a decent fee for him. But then Betis haven't got their money, so it's all right saying you want a player, but if you haven't got the money for him, Betis also lined up Marco Roja from Leeds apparently as well. So yeah, we'll see. Anyway, I don't look. It's been reported, so we'll report it to you guys, but I'm not making a big thing of that one. So it takes where's that's on this one. It takes our list of players we've been linked to 114. 114. I'm almost going to have to start a new column soon. How exciting! How exciting! And there's no doubt with the Declan Rice stuff, it's going to go absolute crazy in the next sort of week or so. Let's hope so. Keep an eye on the channel. Might have some small shows coming tonight, and we'll have hopefully a preview for the Perth Glory game tomorrow morning, and then maybe a cheeky watch along. If Mr. Budden can do the housework, Mrs. Budden might let me do it. We'll just say that. And until then, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble. Enjoy your Friday kebab Friday in the Budden house. I can't wait, and I'll see you guys very soon.